Well, welcome to the Hospitality Playbook, your go-to space for real talk, real stories, and real strategies from the world of hospitality. So take a seat, get inspired, and let's kick off today's episode.
Welcome to the Hospitality Playbook, where today we'll talk about what actually works in hospitality and not what people assume works. Today I'm your host, Katie Radigan, the Chief Operations Officer of Live Hospitality. We're shaking some things up for May the 4th because tomorrow's my favorite holiday. I am joined today by Caleb Arsenault, our CEO, Britton Simmonsma, our Chief Revenue Officer, Ken Klug, our Chief Financial Officer, and David Kleinsma, our Chief Information Officer. We're here to share the real story from leadership, growth, technology, and financial strategy. Let's dive into some of the myths that keep coming up in our industry, and I'm going to ask these guys to help me work through them. So our first myth, I have it broken up in 3 sections. We're going to talk about myths from our guests, myths from our associates, and then myths from future associates or potential future associates. One of the hottest common misconceptions we have are some guests think that threatening a bad review will give them freebies. Most hotels take guest feedback seriously and blackmail tactics aren't rewarded. In fact, they're often reported to review platforms. Caleb, how do you balance protecting the hotel's reputation with maintaining genuine guest satisfaction?
You know, at the end of the day, I think you have to listen to the guests, empathize, and actually take it seriously. And there are people trying to defraud hoteliers out there that are going to try to, embellish a story and make it something that it's not. But I think you just have to take it. At the end of the day, you're not going to stop them from doing a review. I think you have to stay objective, get your supervisor involved if it requires that, if they're really pushing hard. But I think you have to stay calm and you have to take it seriously because there may be an issue. So don't assume that they're complaining just to complain.
Yeah, I think there's always something that happened during their stay or their experience for sure that caused them to become angry. I think one of the biggest things to remember is to not take it personal, which is so hard to do when somebody's screaming at you. But it's a good lesson to learn.
I've always thought about it as you don't know what happened to them that day. There may have been something that happened in their life that maybe their dog got hit on the road or something terrible happened that just has created this sense of anger and despair. So,
and it was the straw that broke the back.
Exactly. So you just kind of roll with it.
Yeah. My biggest example that I use is I just get out of the car from a 10-hour drive with 3 screaming kids. It's 110 degrees outside and I go into my room and it's 85 degrees in there or 95 or 100. Like that is just it for me. I hate being warm. My head is pounding and I just want somebody to help me, it's just so important. So
fix my PTAC.
Please. Okay, here's another one. Many guests believe that hotel prices are set solely based on season or location and/or last-minute deals are always the least expensive. Pricing is much more complex, involving dynamic strategies, operational costs, and even investment in guest amenities. Britton, can you please explain how hotel pricing really works and what factors influence room rates beyond just supply and demand?
Well, those are definitely 2 really big factors that fall into our pricing considerations. But outside of normal supply and demand, there's quite a few that we consider. So operational costs always plays a part. So we definitely want to make sure we're priced above how much it costs us to clean a room, stock a room, pay employees. So all of that's built in. During the slow season, sometimes, prices are lower, so it's important to keep that in mind. Another factor is how long a guest might stay. So somebody who's going to stay 3 or 4 nights, it's a little easier on our staff. It costs us less each day because we don't have to fully clean a room for brand new guests. So I might be able to balance that out in some of the pricing and offer a little discount there.
How about booking early versus waiting until last minute?
So Oftentimes, advanced purchase comes into play. So if you want to commit to your stay, and I know you're going to consume that room regardless, it's a little easier for me to operate knowing that I already have that room committed. So you might have a little bit of discount in advance if you want to agree to some advanced purchase.
So book early, stay longer. Got it.
Yes, lovely. And book direct.
And book direct. We'll talk about that.
And the pricing is dynamic, right? At the end of the day, I always use an airline model as an example, right? If you're typically not paying the same rate for your ticket than the person sitting next to you on the plane. Depends on when you booked. It depends on what seat you wanted. It depends on a lot of different factors. Demand plays into that. So it's really just creating this dynamic sales model that the closer to the date of stay, you're going to actually pay more for that room. As inventory depletes, price goes up.
Okay, thank you. Here's another big misconception. Some guests believe that technology, like digital check-in, robots for room service, and AI-powered reservation lines will steal all the jobs in hospitality. In reality, these innovations don't replace real people, but help our teams deliver a better experience, handle repetitive tasks, and focus on creating memorable experiences. Technology is an enhancement, not a replacement. David, how do you ensure that new technology like digital check-in or AI systems support our staff and enhances guest satisfaction without diminishing the human touch that makes hospitality special?
I think it's really the approach that technology is implemented. It's trying to eliminate the minutia or the transaction and allowing the agent and the staff member to focus on the relationship and the interaction with the guest then. So we also see there's a shift in the younger generation being far more comfortable with technology and leaning more towards that way. So there's just a personal preference we start seeing in that way, and that they then drive their own relationship with the hotel rather than it being forced upon them.
Which I love. I love having the option to interact with somebody or not. But I will say it's really cool if I choose not to interact with somebody, I at least receive a text message like, hey, thanks so much for being here. Do you need anything? Which is awesome.
So you have an avenue, a way to get in touch.
Yeah, I think that personal touch, the definition of that is changing.
Totally.
And every generation has a different concept of what that means for them. So, it's the old Burger King adage, you want it your way. And technology is allowing us to deliver that.
It's powerful. I really enjoy it. Okay, here's one. It kind of goes with the first thing we kind of discussed. But if something goes wrong during your stay or during your visit or you're hiding something, is a lot of times the guest perspective or can be the guest perspective. When issues happens, what does transparency actually look like in hospitality, both internally and with guests?
I think it's important to own it. So if a guest brings you an issue, it's important to recognize it, even if it may not be a big issue to me, but to that guest, it's whatever the issue is, it's really important. So to acknowledge it and then, try to figure out a way with them to make it better for them. So we're not perfect. Nobody's ever perfect. So we experience issues, and how you handle them is key.
I think our team is unique in some ways because of our company approach to empowerment. I think a guest feels like you're hiding something when that person you're dealing with doesn't have the authority to fix it.
Totally.
So I think when you empower your team, you allow them to have the confidence and the authority to actually fix the problem. So the guest feels much less like you're hiding something. A front desk agent that's poorly trained, that is faced with this irate guest, is going to just get in their shell and they're being attacked in some ways. I think it unleashes the ability for our team to empathize with the guest when they're empowered to actually fix it and not have to call a supervisor and go to their boss in order to get permission to do anything. So I think sometimes that myth is well deserved because they can't do anything about it and they're kind of stuck. So they just take all the bullets, but they can't defend themselves or they can't make it right for the guest.
Yeah, it's the worst part to be in a situation when you can't make it right. So I agree. I think our empowerment approach with our team, all of our team members, not even just our front desk associates, but across the company, the ability to make it right, it really helps with self-confidence.
I think communication lines play a part in that too. We need to be, we stay approachable and available for the guests, where they can reach out. And we also preach, management by walking around, which keeps that manager visible and not only to team members, but to guests. So that makes that, availability always there.
Yeah. One of the things we talked about last week is your team can always feel your presence as a leader in the building, but it's also 100% true with your guests. They know who is in charge, and it's just really important to be out there with them. Okay, here's one of my favorites. I'm going to start with you, Ken. Hotel rates are always cheaper on websites that are not hotel brand sites, what we call third-party sites. True or false?
I think there's sometimes where that's true. I guess I don't know a ton about that, but it may or may not be true, depending on what level of loyalty member you are. I think that has a lot to do with how things change.
Yeah. I would say I would totally agree to that statement 15 years ago. I think our hotel brands, our major hotel brands have come a long way to ensure that we are always the most competitive. What do you think, Britton?
I agree. We always want them to book direct. It's better for us. It's better for the guest. And so our member and our loyalty rates, we ensure that that's the best price that's out there above, say, the third-party channels, so that we attract and have the best rate. We do rate shopping, and it's part of a brand standard that we put out there that we offer the best rates, and that's a commitment that the brands have.
And it's such a better experience from the guest side of things. If you need to make any changes with your reservation at all, you're actually dealing with the people you're going to deal with when you arrive at the hotel, and not somebody in a different time zone or somebody, where you're just another reservation number. So,
I think it works great for people that are really brand loyal. I think the magic of, for example, in Expedia, is I can shop all the brands.
Totally.
So it's very difficult to make that consumer's mind shift when I can have a one-stop shop. I get all the brands, and then I can go into my loyalty. So Expedia's got it figured out in Priceline and booking. I mean, they have the ability to do that. So it's really tough for us to get them to go brand direct. So a lot of times the hotels are giving the best deal, the best price to book direct. And the OTAs will be a little more.
I mean, the OTAs, they have the convenience part figured out for sure, but you are
when
injecting.
Booking.
Yeah, when you're booking. And then, but you're injecting a money man in the middle that's handling the whole financial transaction back and forth, which limits both sides. It limits the guests because they're not touching the end point. They're not asking for various packages or able to get anything special. And the hotel side gets limited as well based on this middleman that's put in the middle. So.
Yep.
And rate parity is a real big deal, right? And making sure that the rates that are distributed are all the same with an advance purchase or a direct discount. So it's definitely a game. I can tell you I use Expedia, and I'm in the business.
I knew that. I'm not saying I do. I'm saying he does.
And it's simply out of convenience.
Yeah. If you're looking for a price, if that is the only way you're making a decision, Expedia makes that very easy.
Yes.
I think it's beyond that. I can shop all the brands. That's why I do it. because I enjoy staying at Marriott's, I enjoy staying at Hilton's, I enjoy staying at Wyndham's. I'm not brand loyal from that standpoint.
I will say there are some third-party, non-accredited websites that, unfortunately, in the end, is a really bad experience for a lot of our guests. So there are websites out there that grab our information and our rates and our 10-year-old photos.
And look just like us.
And to the guest, it really does look like us, and they think that they have book direct with us. And then if they need to cancel or make a change to the reservation, it's a nightmare because they aren't us, and they don't play by the rules, and they aren't transparent in what they put out there on their website.
And those typically index well. Like they seem to be at the top of the search rankings.
Yeah.
If you're Googling.
So they're very good at that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I know that there are plenty of myths out there, but here's the last one we're going to discuss today on the guest side. This is one I think that has really haunted our industry, and it's the guest is always right. Our industry was truly built on this phrase. But at what point did protecting the guest come at the expense of protecting our team? What do we do as a company to ensure a great guest experience and a great associate experience? What do we do as leaders, and what do our leaders do in the company to support our associates and our guests?
I think the biggest piece we've already talked about is the empowerment of our team. It's everybody's job to have for the guest experience, and so empowering our entire team to take care of the issue, to help the guest, to find the experience for our guests, that's the biggest piece.
I think the guest always thinks they're right. The guest isn't always right.
I always think I'm right,
too.
Same
here.
So it is our job to own it when we make the mistake. And also, you know, if a guest is berating our team or is creating unnecessary, unreasonable discussions with our team, it's our job as leaders to take that over.
Totally.
I mean, our team doesn't deserve that, and we've all experienced that before in our careers, and it is not pleasant. So if a guest, if that conversation is disintegrated to that level, it's our job as leaders to take that over, because our team doesn't deserve that. And you know, again, the guest always thinks they're right. It could be a situation where they're trying to extort you for a free stay. We've been in those situations. We've seen it. And usually when someone overreacts to that level, that's a key to kind of clue you in, like, what's this person up to? And it's a learned behavior. It's happened before in other, you know, hotels and businesses. So, but I think as a leader, it's our job to protect our team. And we don't have to put up with abuse. At the end of the day, it is a guest abusing our team. We're professionals. We can talk things out. We can work it out. If it's our mistake, we'll own it. And if not, we'll also share that with you and why. And you should be a good enough listener to at least hear us. You might disagree, but at least hear us. And there's ways of escalating these issues, right? Rather than berating our frontline staff.
I think our frontline staff has really grown, just kind of, you know, over the course of the last 10 years, our associate population has absolutely changed, and they have learned to do a really good job at that too.
I would agree.
Not being afraid to ask for help when they need it, but also just saying, like, hi, I'm sorry, we're going to stop.
And one thing I'm really proud of in our company is we own it. When we make a mistake, we own it, and we should. And that's the authentic hospitality experience. We're not going to be perfect. The PTAC isn't going to work sometimes, but we own that. We're going to make it right. And our team's empowered to do that. So I agree, Katie. I think our team does a tremendous job with that.
This episode of the Hospitality Playbook is brought to you by Live Hospitality. Did you know Live Hospitality operates 13 hotels, 4 premier resorts, and a portfolio of standout restaurants? Behind every exceptional guest experience, culinary innovation, and high-performing team is a management group built for results. Whether you're an independent hotel owner looking to elevate performance or a new investor seeking trusted operators, Live Hospitality offers full-service management built on decades of operational excellence. From luxury to leisure, every touchpoint is tailored to your property's identity while driving strong returns. If you're thinking about what's next for your property, think Live. Let us show you what's possible when passion meets performance. Visit livehotelgroup.com, that's livhotelgroup.com to learn more.
Now we're going to talk about myths that we hear or feel from current associates or from associates who have worked in the industry. The first one is there's a belief our industry is very slow to innovate. If you walk into any leading property, you're going to find AI, robotics, and digital platforms in action. David, in your mind, what recent innovations are changing the way associates work?
Oh, there's a number of them. I mean, you touched a little bit AI robotics. I mean, let's say robots. I mean, we have the delivery robots out there at the casinos. We have the robot vacuums. We have the robot pool cleaners. We then have, AI, and we're doing classes to teach frontline staff members how to, take that, repetitive roles and tasks out of their day so they can focus on the more important things. We've implemented, new payroll systems, which puts them in control of their paychecks and schedules. We've done, we've talked data miner on this podcast a number of different times. I could go on, but so there's a lot of different things that we've implemented, and we've seen each one transform that way an associate does their role a number of times over. I'll kind of go into a technology myth a little bit off of this, is that none of those have replaced jobs. They've just transformed the job into something new and different.
Yeah, I always think, changing our POS system and moving to tablets and away from, the old school, like handwritten checks, that was huge for us. Now you see it kind of everywhere, right? Or, a piece of everywhere. The other one, I think, that really changed us, the core of our hotel operations, is really marrying the housekeeping and maintenance teams through technology, getting rid of paper boards on a clipboard, on a housekeeping cart.
Like hot sauce and core and mop.
Yeah, moving those two core teams to a direct communication has really changed the face of what the heart of our hotel operations look like, for sure.
We even talked about the texting for the guests. That is somewhat new as well. Yeah.
I think the future of our business is a concierge, and the administrative tasks that a check-in process feels and looks like is gone. And I can't wait for it. I want to have somebody welcoming me with a refreshment and
Carrying
saying,
your bag.
"Hey, can I make a dinner reservation for you?" Or can I recommend a place for you? More of a concierge approach versus like, I'm going to make you a key.
Which is what 90% of our consumers are looking for, is the experience, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we really all care about, is how was I treated and how was my stay?
Yeah.
Okay, Caleb, another myth is our industry is all luxury and glamour. While we get lots of perks, we can travel the world. While the perks are real, our teams work some of the most demanding, high-pressure jobs out there. In your mind, what are the biggest challenges our teams face behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes. I'll take the housekeeping process, for example. I think that is the largest, most challenging operational challenge we have across our entire industry. That process has barely changed over 100 years. We do it the same. We approach it the same. It's very labor intense. It's hard work. It's oftentimes thankless work. And so what happens behind the scenes, from laundry to housekeeping, to make all of that work, which is truly the heartbeat of a hotel, I think has got to change. and it has to revolutionize. And I want our company to be the one to figure it out, but I don't have the answer yet. But that is the behind the scenes that no one sees when you come into a fresh room that feels good and the temperature's right and it smells right. That's the magic. But there are so many efforts behind the scenes to make that happen. And it's every day.
Every day.
Day after day, day after day for thousands of rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And, our housekeepers are the unsung heroes of our operations, and they don't get the credit they deserve. And, so the behind the scenes, it takes an army. Mm-hmm. And if any of our listeners have ideas on how we can revolutionize the housekeeping process, and if you want to figure out how it works, you're welcome to come in. We'll show you. Yeah. You can clean a few rooms with us.
An interesting thing. I know there's been times where we're short-staffed at a hotel, and all of us kind of go in and do housekeeping. We approach it differently than they do in the daily, and that's boggled me a little bit. That might be a topic for another day to go down on. Why does we do it different than them?
It's really because I enjoy making beds and nothing else.
It's because we're all good at something a little different.
Maybe.
I can strip beds and take trash out.
Usually everybody identifies the
this is my spot.
Yep.
But I guess the gist is we do it more Ford assembly line way, and a traditional housekeeper does the whole thing top to bottom and then move to the next. So it's a very different approach.
It is.
The other department I think that's not really recognized as much is the maintenance team and what the maintenance requests they got to get done. You got to get it done before check-in. You got to get things fixed.
Yeah.
There's a lot that those people have to handle and overcome.
It's just like magical fairies that kind of fly around behind the scenes that nobody really ever sees.
And fixes things.
Everything works. Agree.
And when it doesn't, it's resolved quickly.
Yes.
And efficiently with very little disruption.
Okay. How about high turnover? It's just part of the hospitality industry. Having a high attrition is just unavoidable. What are your thoughts on this statement? And do you think that this is really an accurate sentiment?
I think our turnover is a lot better now than it was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
There's always a certain amount of turnover you're going to see.
I think the basis of that reputation is credible. We hire a lot of entry-level positions in food and beverage, in our hotel operations. It's a great industry to learn how to work and to earn money and to be a part of a team and all of the foundational soft skills you need to enter the workforce. So we, by the very nature of that entry level, we do have a high turnover. Not necessarily because people are quitting or getting fired, but because it is a first job or a stepping stone for the next. So I'm okay with that. I think that's a great thing. I think the turnover rate is misleading because of that. So, I think to Ken's point, 10 years ago, it was much worse. Part of that is company culture. Part of that is pay. Part of that is, do I feel satisfied in my job? Like, am I achieving anything? Am I being recognized for those achievements? I think, all of those things have improved over time in our company that has created less turnover.
It's like, going to work and you spend sometimes more time at work than you do really with your family when they're awake, right? So do I enjoy it? Do I enjoy the people I work with? And do I enjoy what I'm doing? And if we can positively affect any of those levers, it tremendously helps with our turnover rate.
And have fun.
Have fun.
It's not against the rules.
Yeah.
Like, work doesn't have to be a drag. We're going to work hard, but we can have a great time doing it.
Totally. Bryn, I think this is a good one for you. You have to be an extrovert to succeed. But empathy and creative problem solving are often what set the best apart, not just being outgoing. How can introverts and those with strong empathy excel in hospitality?
Well, Katie says it's a great question for me because I'm the introvert on the team.
Me too.
I was going to
You're
say
not
we
the
have
only one.
We have several introverts. Honestly, I think I've surrounded myself with introverts.
Right.
we do have a lot of introverts on our team, so it is not just an industry for extroverts. I'm more introverted in my personal world outside of work, but when at work, I think the extroverted side of me comes out more. And we're in hospitality. I don't think you can really succeed in this industry without having a solid level of empathy. We're a people business. We have a big team. We deal with a lot of guests. Like, being able to empathize with our associates and our guests is key.
Anything to add, Ken?
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think the empathy, and I think a certain amount of how much of an introvert you learn as you go along in your career.
Totally.
As you become more confident in what you're doing, you can be at ease, and it doesn't bother you to deal with people as much. It's, I think, a big part of what is a learned behavior.
It's a good one for you, Caleb.
Hint,
David.
hint.
I'm the extrovert in the group, so I'll take this one. Repeat the question again.
Okay.
Leadership.
The myth is leadership doesn't always
understand what we do.
Yep. So how do we as leaders, or how do our leaders stay connected to frontline realities as our organization grows?
I think the first thing a leader has to do, which is really hard for a leader to do, is understand you don't know and recognize it and understand you don't know, and don't pretend to know. Ask questions, be a resource, be available, ask them what they need so that you can get them the resources. You know, I think one of the magical points of Live Hospitality is the fact that every person sitting around this table has grown up in this business. And I think when you've done those jobs and you've ascended the ladder into leadership, but you also understand what it means to be a dishwasher or to be a housekeeper or to be the banquet server, there's a certain level of empathy and understanding of what it takes to get it done. So it's really easy to become disconnected to that as a leader, but I think it's our job to remind ourselves that, you know what, it takes a Herculean effort to get some of this done, and it's noble and it's amazing. So I think having experience in those different roles as a leader is critical. I don't think you can effectively lead and empathize with what it takes to get the job done without actually doing it yourself.
I will say one thing I really love about our entire leadership team, even our ownership group, is there is literally nobody in this company who is scared to roll up their sleeves and go help. Like, if there is a property or there is a team that is struggling, it is powerful for them to understand seriously how supported they are. So it's really awesome.
And I think it shines in crisis. You know, I think when things don't go well, we show up.
Yeah.
And that's what leaders do. And I think that matters to our frontline team. I really think, even if it's just there to say, hey, way to go.
Here's a donut.
Good job.
Yeah.
What can I do to help? Can I mop this water up? Like, whatever it is, we got to be there for our team. We are nothing without our team. Literally. We don't have jobs.
Nope.
So as soon as we lose sight of that, we're in trouble. And I think our team does a really good job of keeping that in focus. Maybe some of our team would argue with me about that, but I don't think so. I think they understand that we have their back.
And our leadership team, our general managers, and all of them, I think, really have that same value, that same core. They are there to show up for their team. It's very important for them. The last question from the associate or internal associate perspective is, mistakes hurt your future here. How do we view mistakes versus learning moments?
Well, we embrace failure. It's part of the process, honestly. You got to learn what doesn't work. But it comes as part of the try. We like to try new things. We want to try to do this. So you need to understand that failure is normal. It's just part of the process. make sure you learn from it. Don't repeat, but it's not something that we want to shy away from or severely punish for or anything like that. It's embrace the failure.
I don't think anyone's perfect around this table or anywhere in the company. And, one of the things, Katie did a management presentation about failing forward. Like, failure is part of innovation. If you're not trying anything, you'll never fail. You're right. Do nothing, you'll be fine. You'll never fail, but you also will never go anywhere. So make sure we're failing forward. If we're not failing, we're not trying. We're not getting out there and being innovative and making the mistakes that make us a better company. So I think people just need to get over the fear of making a mistake. We don't want to make the same mistake 3 times, right? Because that's a problem. But we want to fail forward.
And you want to go in with proper guidance. You're not recklessly, barreling forward. Right. But yes.
Sometimes.
Let's just start going. We'll push credit later.
Well, and people talk about, we need to have experience. The experience is 90% of the time you're going to fail. You just learn something from we're not going to do it that way. Let's try it this way. And as long as you don't repeat your failures, I think it's part of what experience is and learning and life experiences makes you better as you actually know what. I forget who it was, it took you 1,000 tries to create a light bulb, I think. And I learned now not to 999. But that's part of the process.
Absolutely.
And it's totally how we just continue to get better and grow all the way through.
We silenced our phones. Mine was vibrating, sorry. My boss is calling me.
Lucky.
Okay, so moving on to the last part. It's myths about our industry for job seekers or future associates or people who have shown interest but haven't taken the leap to get into our industry. Future professionals often think hospitality jobs are low paid and unstable. But wages and benefits have increased, and the sector is more resilient than ever. Ken, what does the pay structure and benefit package look like today versus 10 years ago?
Well, I know the pay is considerably more than it was when I first got here, and I remember what some of the general managers making. I'm like, wow. And now it's 3 or 4 times that amount. As far as the benefits, now we've got a 401k in place, we got a match in place, we have a much better offering of various insurances. We have a lot of different options for what you want to be into versus when I got here, there was just we have this and that's what we have, and you just have to deal with it. But we have a lot more opportunities. We have a lot more things like the Expedian, things where people earn points for doing certain things that are much, and then they have the internal recognition system that lets everybody know in the company when someone's birthday or anniversary is. So those are all cool innovations that have happened.
Anything else changed in the last 10 years?
You're giving me the look. Yeah. A bit in the technology world has certainly changed. And as a career path, we're going to consistently stay busy. I think, we talked about some of the systems earlier, the robotics, AI and all that. And from the technology side, it's certainly not replacing any jobs. It's creating more job opportunities. There's, with all these technology systems being implemented, there's more ways for them to go wrong or fail or need certain guardrails or security measures put up. And you need, technical people to keep all that in place. So therefore the rest of the organization isn't able to perform their roles. So from my point of view, the career path in technology and hospitality is only pointed up. With more and more need there.
Good.
Well, my soapbox is this whole low-paying reputation we have as an industry, and I can't. We have to get over that because it's simply not true. That's probably the biggest myth out of this entire program. We're over 25 people in this company that make 6 figures or more. That's massive. That's a lot of money. There's hundreds that make over the median wage for this area that work in our hospitality company. If you're a food server, you're making close to that. Our blackjack dealers
Or bartenders.
making 80 to 100 grand. We are not a low-paying industry. If you're a curmudgeon and you're not very nice, maybe you won't make many tips if you're one of those entry level, and you won't do very well, but you're probably not going to do well at much. But there's so much opportunity in our industry to make a career out of this. I'm an example of it. You all are an example of it. It's an amazing industry that pays very, very well.
It's so hard to change what has been embedded in the entire nation or world for 100 years.
Don't get me started. Economic development. Oh, we don't need any more hospitality economic development. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, especially when it's one of the major drivers. Of
Absolutely. Number 2 industry in the state of South Dakota. So big champion for that. I think we have to change that narrative, and it's going to take us all talking about what a great career and what great pay we have here in this industry.
And amazing benefits.
And amazing benefits.
When I started with the company, whatever it was ago, to where we are now, I mean, we're really competing with the hospitals, and we're competing with the nurses, and our jobs are truly competing with some of the highest paying jobs in our area.
Absolutely.
So it just rolls right into kind of, there's the idea that there's no real career path here. We talk about it often amongst ourselves. We talk about it often even with some of our general managers. But I'd love to hear a story, not from one of us 5 though, where somebody who has advanced from entry level to a leadership role within the company.
I got one.
Okay.
Can I say names? Names? Yeah. All right. Conrad. Let's start there. Conrad started, I can't recall how long ago, but he worked at the front desk of one of our properties, checking people in and out. He might have been a night auditor.
Night auditor.
Yeah. Started there. He was going to school for some software engineering at the time and showed a little bit of technology chops. Caught my eye. We brought him into LinkTech, and he served a number of roles, working his way up to a tier 2 technician. And then he started showing far more interest in the software development side of things. And we found him an opportunity over here at Liv as the data analyst to lead the data miner program for us now. And we were talking earlier today just, of how much that has advanced and moved forward, with him. And it's an impressive story of how it started, where he kind of owned this technology and just ran with it, and impressing us all at this point.
And a vital piece of everything we do every single day now.
He's our secret sauce, I'm telling you.
Not anymore.
That doesn't mean you're getting
Out
a raise,
to the
Conrad.
world.
It's out there. Everybody
You guys
knows.
said names.
It doesn't mean you're getting a raise, Conrad, if you're listening to this.
Any other stories? Anything else?
There was someone that started as a bartender and is now advanced through various ranks and is now general manager of a hotel.
Yeah.
We have a previous college intern that came back and worked in our Liv office, and now is a hotel assistant general manager.
You're talking about Rockstar Rosemary?
Rockstar Rosemary.
Yeah.
We miss her, but she's doing great things.
She's done a great job, and I, she's a champion for this industry too, and very proud of her progress. And she's had some amazing people, all of you sitting around this table around her, to help her get to where she's at, and sky's the limit for her. So I think from a career standpoint, I think society creates this sense that I have to go to college, I have to get this degree, and then I need this position in that order, and there's no other way. And I think 20, 30 years ago, maybe that was part of how society functioned. I think today's youth is kind of seeing the fallacy of some of the college programs, and this may be an unpopular sentiment, but if you don't know what you want to do, You don't know what you want to study. Maybe it's business, maybe it's marketing, maybe it's design, maybe it's accounting, maybe it's whatever you might have interest in. Hospitality has it all. Mm-hmm. It literally has it all. And the criteria to get into hospitality isn't that college degree. Mm-mm. It's a work ethic and an attitude to want to have some fun and take care of others and a spirit to serve. So if we can get that message out to those college students that are like, boy, I am not sure what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And maybe you try this and it's not for you, but at least you know, and you'll gain some skills. And then you can go to college and become the doctor or become the engineer. But our industry can be a very rewarding career, and you don't have to have a doctorate degree to do it. Mm-hmm. We will train you. It's on the job. You need a spirit to serve, a great attitude, and a great work ethic. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yep. And one of the things you kind of hit is one of the next questions, but creative roles don't belong in hospitality. And I think we've talked about, from the analytical mind, from the innovation and IT side, from the operations or finance, but also creativity in the marketing and creativity in your job and what you do every day. This industry does truly have something for everyone.
Yeah.
You don't, have to just hang out at the front desk or, whatever it is. There truly is a role for everyone. Okay, we're going to roll into lightning rounds. One hospitality myth you believed earlier in your career and you were wrong about.
That the front desk was easy and simple.
Oh, that's a good one. Preach.
I mean, coming into it like, oh, what do? You check people in and you check people out. It can't be that hard. But there's a lot.
There's a lot.
That they do, that they manage, that they're multitasking, planning, strategizing who's going in what room. There's a lot.
Ken, what was yours?
I don't know. I think it's probably the pricing model, but I think that's also changed over time.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
From when my career started to what it is now. I remember a time when we had 3 rates during the year. You had winter, summer, and rally. And that's
winter, summer, and rally.
Those are your 3 rates for the year. And now it's so much more complicated than that. I don't know if that's so much of a myth or something that has evolved.
Yeah, both, I think. David?
From IT, is it just that keeping things on, running, green lights, everything flashing, and handling help desk requests fast? I mean, there's so much more to it from the security side and everything that it needs to go in place to empower the staff to help the guests. There's the human component at the end is really the purpose and the reason for everything technology, not the machines.
Yeah. Wi-Fi is as important as the air we breathe anymore. It truly is. And without it, it really disrupts not only the associate, but the guest. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot to keep those systems running.
You're telling me.
Caleb, do you have one?
I'll go back to pay. It's the whole reason I'm in this industry. I was going to school to be a PE teacher, and my now wife, Amy, got me a job as a banquet server in this amazing industry, and I was making more money in 6 months than I would have been as a educator, as a teacher, which teachers should be paid more. Mm-hmm. But it is a total myth. There's career upward trajectory for anyone willing to work hard, and that's smart and has the right attitude. So I think that's the biggest myth is low pay.
Yep, I agree. We'll do one more. One thing guests would be surprised to learn happens behind the scenes.
The amount of laundry that gets done on the daily.
Honestly.
I mean, if you look at how big are those washers, like 50,
100, 120 pounds of laundry?
That's a good
load.
one, Ken.
That's a great one. I love that one.
Those people, they work a full shift and they've got a lot of turn.
You ever stand underneath one of the chutes when you open and it's like a caterpillar of literally linen coming from 4 stories down? That's a great one. Anything else from behind the scenes? Something that a guest doesn't ever see or think about?
the massive amount of communication that happens between staff members. I think, Katie, you're number one on a number of reports of Teams messages, Teams calls, emails, and
I
that
just send
sort
a
of
lot
thing.
of gifts.
Well,
Just kidding.
whatever it is, it's getting stuff done. Yeah, just vast amount of communications and all, how people are interacting and the fast responses that, they're getting back and forth. Yeah.
I guess sometimes some of the pre-planning, everything that happens before the guest arrives. So if I know David's coming for his 21st birthday or whatever, and I know
wish.
that in advance, and the team might be talking about it and how they're going to pre-plan for that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I thought I'd give you the 21st. Come on,
Thanks,
it's a fun one.
thanks. Appreciate that.
Okay. Well, anything else to add?
The myth one's a tough one. Behind the scenes, I can't come up with one.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's a tough one.
The laundry is a great one,
Yep.
The
though.
laundry's good.
It's hard to top that one.
I know.
Good job, Ken.
If I could throw out one for Caleb here, I mean, the amount of politicking that you do,
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't think it myself, but knowing what you get involved in and the various,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
That's a great one.
Yeah, it matters. Relationships matter. Our partners and with our industry matter. So I suppose that is a myth that people probably just don't realize. So thanks, David. I appreciate that. I couldn't come up with one. That was good.
There you are.
So that concludes today's episode. Thank you guys so much for joining. This has been the Hospitality Playbook. Have a great day. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
The fourth.
Good job, Katie.
Nice work,
Great
Katie.
job.
Yeah, yeah.
Happy
Katie.
almost Cinco de Mayo, you guys.
Almost.
You guys are next for leading. Whoever wants to go next. This is fun. I don't know.
I already volunteered.
Is there comments on this? Maybe they'll vote. I don't know.
Please be sure to follow us, like, subscribe,
Hit all the buttons.
hit all the buttons, please. We enjoy doing this. I hope you guys are having a good time listening to it. Little insight into Live. It's kind of fun. Appreciate it. Well done, Katie.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
5 voices, 1 mission. Welcome to the Hospitality Playbook.
How do I stop this thing?
No.